Right, I know I've covered my Moto Guzzi a lot here in the last few videos, and this will probably be the last one for it for a while. I'll go back and do some of the things on the other bikes, but I'm going to cover the Oxford heated hand grips I added to the Moto Guzzi and the lowering of the foot pegs on the Moto Guzzi. Alright, I'm going to start out with a ride on the freeway down to Mr. Bill's. Did this kind of testing the windscreen, the heated grips, and foot pegs. After I rolled out of the driveway, I discovered on the left side, the clutch side, that when I put the kickstand, it was hitting the doggone foot peg. The reason I'm changing the foot pegs is because my knees get a little uncomfortable when it's in some foot peg locations when it's really short, so I needed to increase the distance from the seat to the peg. Well, I'm looking at the measurement here. It looks like it's about 19 3/4 from the top of the foot peg to roughly right there to the top of the seat here. So that's like 502 millimeters. That's a little higher than I thought, but it still feels a little cramped. So I think I'm gonna have to get some pegs to move it down just a little bit. We're tuned into my thing that pissed me off with some pegs I ordered for this bike that turned out not to be for this bike. What we have here, I've had to, once I put these new foot pegs on, I had to move them up just a little bit, because what was happening is when the side stand went all the way up, it was pushing it up like that. So I moved it up a little bit so it's not doing it so much. Here's the deal. This piece here, this piece of rubber, was coming up really close to here. Now I noticed it had some marks on it, and I don't know if it was there before I changed the foot pegs or after. It was there before, but it looks like it was getting hot. So I'm going to put this little clamp right here so it'll keep it just a little bit farther away. Then I added a little piece right here that should, I'll show you in just a minute, should catch that kickstand and keep it from coming all the way up and hitting this. This is just kind of a temporary thing here. Then I'll see how it works when we test it out, but it may be a problem on shifting and getting my foot in here, but we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and get an aftermarket toe peg here so I can have some adjustability. This is what it looks like now, with a little thing to catch the kickstand. You can see that the kickstand's clearly not hitting. I just want to hold it just a little bit below. It's the new versus old seat to peg comparisons. Before it was, I did on this bike, is 19.5 inches. Now it's 21.25 inches, so about 1 3/4 inches. Changes from the ground to the foot peg make a difference. It had an excellent 12.5 inches. Now it's got a good 10.75 inches, so I'm happy with that. Now some comparisons with some other bikes. The Tiger is 900 is 22 inches to the top of the seat on a high position. The roll infield came in 20.5 inches, and the Thruxton R was 19.75 inches. So the doggone Moto Guzzi was last. So I'm going to go out and take another little test ride and see how it works out, and see if I need to make any more adjustments. I may add a toe peg in there too. I'll make the report on the Oxford heated hand grips a little short because I just got them, but so far so good. It's excellent. I'm going to show you a few videos of me putting them on. They weren't a problem at all. Yep. Today I'm fitting some Oxford heated hand grips. This is a sport model for sports, it says, and it's one of the newer versions of it. We'll see what it looks like and how it works. Okay, it looks like it comes with two grips. One side of that, I believe that'll be I believe this is the throttle side. Maybe not. I think the one that's a little larger, throttle side. The smaller one will be the clutch side. This runs back to the battery. Looks like a little bracket to mount. So you can mount this probably on the handlebars, and some tie wraps, and some super glue. We'll see if we need the super glue or not. Of course, the fun part, starting all this, is taking the other ones off. I start with taking the bar ends off here, and they just simply unscrew. With the grips, what I tend to do is I'll put a screwdriver in here if I don't want to destroy the grip. Then I'll shoot some WD-40 or silicone up in here, and that'll loosen it up and allow me to just pull it off like that. And I'll be sure and wipe all that off before I start to put the other one on. Now that I got both of the old hand grips off, time to fit the new ones. You can see that there's a little bit of, maybe you can or can't see, there's a little bit of difference between the diameter on these two. The bigger diameter goes to the throttle side because it's got the little plastic on the twist grip there, and the smaller one, which is this one, will go on the clutch side. So we'll fit those, and I'm going to look at how to wire this thing. Okay, wiring. What happens with this? It's pretty good. It's got enough wiring that's about long enough for any kind of bike. A little extra wire. So you got a wire that comes down through here, and you got one that comes here for the left grip. Then they connect into there's a little wire that comes from the battery, and they pigtail into the battery right down in here. It's where I have the wires fixed right now. So there's plenty of wire to move around, and I may move these around a little bit after today's ride. I think you can see it a little bit better where I've got the wiring stuck. Right where this green wire is, that's where it's stuck in the frame here. So fits pretty good there. You just want to have enough wiring so that it doesn't move around. I mean, when you move the handlebars, it doesn't tug on the wires or anything like that. Now, I did run the wire from the battery up from the battery all the way up underneath the gas tank until right here, right in here. But what I did was I put this heat reflective sticky tape, and I've taped the wire with the reflective side back down towards the engine. So specifically when I get into this area here, I want to make sure that the heat doesn't affect the wire. So it's right now, the gas tank's right here, so it's stuck up, the wire stuck up to the gas tank underneath with the reflective tape. Okay, the light on the heated hand grips is a little bit too light to show you, but it shows you it goes up into those different settings at 5-degree increments up from 95, I believe. So if you hold it down, it shuts off. Well, I got the Oxford heated hand grips fitted. It's a little tough to get on here and on the other side. I'm not satisfied that I've got everything exactly where I want it. but I've got enough where I can at least test it. The way this is supposed to work is I'm going to hit the up button here, and that's going to turn it on to, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's 95 degrees. Then if you hit the up button, keep on going up, it goes up in temperature. So 115 is as high as it goes. And you can go back down. It automatically will turn off by itself. But if you sit there and you hold it, you're supposed to hold it for 2 seconds, and it turns the grips off. The grips are working and pretty hot. So I got that done. And now I will test this out. We'll test the windscreen out. Oh, by the way, I'll test the foot pegs out. Mr. Bill saw something on eBay and ordered for me, and I paid him for it, but dropping these foot pegs down a couple inches, about 1.5 inches, I think. We'll do a measurement on it in just a minute and show you. But I want to make sure that they work and I don't have to make any other kind of adjustments on it. But got it for this side. The hard side was the brake side, because it has to clear here, and which this one does. So I may adjust it one way or another, and I can also adjust the toe peg one way or another. So I got 3 things to test out the next time I ride: the foot pegs, the heated hand grips, and the windscreen. How about that?
Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.